In this game of diplomacy, as it went on, I eventually had to stab my ally to be more than just a sitting duck. And when I did, when I made the fatal move and ended the game for France. Okay, I know this doesn't look like an endgame, but I have builds after this, and France has one build. I mean, they have more than one build, but they can only build fleet breast while I can build fleet. Okay, this is a devastation. Okay, I'm just gonna. They gave me an offer. I'll be your puppet, your janissary, in exchange for life. When someone offers to help you achieve victory, becoming your janissary and all, you've got to ask a simple question. Why are they offering you this? Is it because they want to see a certain power suffer, or do they simply want to survive? In order to keep a janissary working for you, a carrot and stick is needed to remind them what they're fighting for. So, at first, when somebody first offers you to be a janissary, it doesn't hurt to be a bit suspicious. Now, of course, game to game, you might decide that he really can't do anything, but in this case, if I put too much faith and expected France to do exactly as I said, it would not end well, especially since he still has armies, he still has the capability to defend. Now, I had asked him to do this, and I mean it's not his fault. He wants to survive to some extent, so he's going to try while he's not completely down. He bounced me out of Brest. He moved to Picardie and he moved to Berlin. This illustrates that your janissary still maintains their own goals and objectives. Do not expect them to act like slaves. However, you can put in a few measures to make sure they stick to their side of the deal. Okay, so I was going to continue working with this because if I wanted a chance at winning, I needed the Mediterranean front to be like here rather than back here in the stalemate line. So I figured my only real chance was to continue working with him, and he did follow my moves here when I could force my way in. This is what I call the carrot and stick. Now, I offered France Mediterranean Empire because what's cooler than a Mediterranean Empire? And also they wanted to live, they get to live in the Med. And I didn't tell them this, but the plan was to, once they were in the Mediterranean surviving, I would take the centers I needed to win. Because so the agreement was that initially they would keep Portugal, Spain, Marseille and Tunis to live. But I made sure to always keep the possibility. You'll notice all my fleets, I can always go in if they do something a little suspicious, which would go on to actually happen. I might be just making stuff up here, but I had a feeling France was feeding information to the enemy. Because what I would expect, I mean, he might have just been a good guesser. Okay, I'm not trying to do this way what Austria did, but I guessed he would use all three to attack Tyrolia because I would be defending Tyrolia, but he didn't. He knew to use Venice to cut Tuscany support, and I mean this is fair enough. But why would you use Rome to attack when Rome could be cut? It was not conclusive. Okay, there's a good chance that they figured out these orders themselves. I'm not going to devalue that, but I started to suspect France was feeding some information that AT shouldn't have. Again, I was quite suspicious because why would you not kick Tyrolia out here? Why would you move this here instead of supporting up like this and then trying to kick Tyrolia out? Especially since last time that's what they did. Now, of course, they could have found these moves themselves. I mean, this wouldn't hold up in court. But I'm starting to suspect that France maybe had a different goal in mind than creating that Mediterranean empire I promised. So here I decide I'm gonna go for it. Why did I choose to break the janissary now? I didn't really trust that the janissary was following what I needed them to do. Now, it's important to note that they very well may have not been feeding this information. I have imperfect knowledge here. Though, France at this point wasn't able to do what they promised. Through their own fault or not, I don't actually know. Let's look at another game where a janissary was pivotal. So in this game, England managed to piss off both of their neighbors, France and Germany, and they were both gonna die. So, they both wanted England to lose. If they were gonna die, England was gonna die. So they basically became Italian puppets. Okay, they offered their janissary ship to Italy, and if France and Germany go against him, they're not gonna kill England. And also, now in 1910, they can't really go back because Italy's already in a pretty good position if they were to turn on him. Now, here's the cat and stick in action. And so, through this, Italy goes on to win, which he wouldn't have been able to do without the janissaries. So in conclusion, if somebody offers to be your janissary, at first, be a bit suspicious because they might be playing you. However, in the long term, once you're sure that they're on your side, and you got a carrot to make sure that they have something worth fighting for, and a stick to make sure that they won't just turn on you in an instant, you have some pretty good allies who could win you the game.